Hi, I'm Madeline Miller, author of Circe, and I am so excited and honored that my book has been chosen to be part of the 2022-2023 NEA Big Read. I have loved Greek mythology since I was a child, and I've always been really excited about the character of Circe, the witch from the Odyssey who infamously turns Odysseus's men into pigs. But the part that really drew me to her story wasn't necessarily the part that was about ancient mythology, because in the context of this story of gods and heroes and monsters, I saw the story of a woman who was struggling to find her voice, struggling to find her power in a world that is profoundly hostile to her. The fact that Circe to me was the story of an artist, a woman finding her craft, finding her power, and finding her place in the world, along with all those monsters and gods and minotaurs at the same time. It was also a really a feminist story from the beginning for me. I love the fact that I was looking at sort of voices that had been silenced in the original material, not just Circe, but many of the other women around her story, and even some of the men as well. These characters who had been forced into very constricted roles. It was really fun to write this story and give them the chance to breathe. I am one of those writers who believes firmly that as soon as my book is in the world, it belongs to the readers as much as it belongs to me. So I am mostly just thrilled to hear what readers find in the novel, what resonates with them. There's so many pieces of Circe's story. She's a daughter, she's a sister, she's a mother, she is a witch, she's a villain, she's a savior. She does so many different things over the course of her life, and I'm excited to have readers interact with this really, what I see as a very complicated and interesting woman, who has a lot of different paths that she walks. I also would love, I'm a former Latin teacher, so I always have sort of a secret delight if people go back to the original myths after reading Circe or one of my novels, or if they go to the myths for the first time, but that is not necessary at all. I wrote the novel in such a way that it could be an introduction for people, that even people who possibly felt alienated from the story before might be interested in reading it. So I am really excited to hear what readers see in it and open to all answers. So one question that I've always wanted to be asked, I actually was asked at some point, but I didn't answer it the way I wanted to. So I wanted to answer it right now. The question was, do the spells in the book work? And I answered it no, which is true. They don't work. I made them all up. But the answer that I wanted to give is that I love digging into herbology and herbalism. And in writing many of the parts that have to do with herbs and herbcraft in this novel, I did a ton of research into the way the ancient Greeks looked at herbs, the way actual herbs really do have certain effects. Obviously, hellebore really is a poison. Yarrow really is a coagulant. And I loved digging into that history. And that's something I've had a passion for since I was a child. My mother is a big gardener and took me to all kinds of botanical gardens when I was a child. And I would always seek out the herb gardens, the physic gardens. What do plants do? What effects can they have? And so, although the spells do not work, many of the herbs really do have the actual effects in the world that they have in the book. And it was fun to play with those.